everyone knows we are what we eat, but why do so many of us not understand and are able to extrapolate that to mean that most of our problems have to do with what we eat? And that's really exciting to think about, because that means that all we have to do to solve most of our problems is to find out what we have to eat. Now, in order to do that, we have to realize there's more confusion in the area of nutrition than there is on any other subject. So what we have to do is we got to empty our cup. We got to take all of our so-called experts that have been formally miseducated and throw everything they've told us out. And all we have to do is focus on two things, and that's it. It's very simple. Use your common sense. We can figure this out. If you understand, there's just two things we have to focus on. Throw everything else out, because you can't have an expert with the same credentials and they say two different things. Apparently something's wrong there. They're missing something. They don't have the answers. We got to look outside the box. And to do that, look at two main points. Number one, all we have to do to figure out what to eat is find the food that wants us to eat it. Number one. Number two, all we have to do is find out what foods we're designed to eat. Now, all we have to do to figure out what foods want us to eat it is to use the Sherlock Holmes approach. Exclude the impossible. Let's take a look at what foods don't want us to eat them. Well, obviously, there's no animal that wants to give up their life so they can fill our stomach. And a lot of plants, grains, beans, these things have anti-nutrients in them for a reason. They don't want us to eat them. But if we cook them, we can damage those anti-nutrients. We're not damaging anything else, but we can damage those anti-nutrients and then we can eat them. So, what foods want us to eat them? Or what foods want us to eat them? Well, let's take a look at the second point. What foods are we designed to eat? Are there any other animals that we fall under the same class? Every animal falls under certain classes based on about a dozen anatomical characteristics. And it's very clear where we fit. We have the same anatomy as all the other primates. And guess what? They're frugivores. So the only food that wants us to eat it is fruit. And yet we've been brainwashed to think fruit is bad somehow. Carbohydrates are bad somehow. Well, yeah, they are if they're cooked. They are if they come from foods that already have anti-nutrients in them. Fruits don't have anti-nutrients in them. My God, fruit wants us to eat it. And if we were to nourish these plants, if they were all over the place, we too would be nourishing. There's a reason why we're not flourishing. It's because those plants aren't flourishing. In fact, that's a stupid argument you hear all the time. Oh, this can't feed the planet right now. This can't be a diet. This isn't a solution. It can't feed the planet. It will when we slowly start changing. It's all supply and demand. We don't have the supply right now. Once the supply comes, or the demand comes, I guarantee you we'll provide the supply. It's a no-brainer. I'm telling you, my friends, we can solve most of our problems in life if we just realized that there's a symbiotic relationship with fruit. And we need to honor that symbiotic relationship. The fall of mankind came when we stopped honoring that relationship. We stopped flourishing because those plants stopped flourishing. And we started cooking animals and cooking grains and processing our foods and using chemicals. These are all unnatural foods. You are what you eat. Why can't you extrapolate that and realize that's why we have so many problems? Well, there's a lot of reasons our experts don't know in nutrition, just like our experts don't know in medicine. It's by design. It's very simple. In both professions, they don't study the same part of the equation. There's 3 pieces to the medical side and 3 pieces to the nutritional side. Let's look at the nutritional side. It's based on 3 cycles of food. There's consumption, absorption, elimination. What don't they teach nutritionists? It's the elimination stage cycle. And that's why they come up with stupid things like everything's edible in moderation. No, that's not. Different foods have different bowel transit times. That's why it wasn't meant to be put in us. This causes a lot of problems in itself right there when we make that kind of a mistake. So nutritionists are clueless. They don't know that some foods take too long. And then when we look at the medical profession, our body's nothing but a bunch of cells, two fluids, blood, the kitchen bring in the food, the lymph fluid, the bathroom get rid of the waste. Doctors only study the cells individually. They don't study the concept of totality. So when you go to an eye specialist, they don't know what's happening to your kidneys or your adrenals or your colon or anything else. But most importantly, they don't study the lymph system. Just like nutritionists don't study the elimination cycle, doctors, medical people don't study the lymph system, the bathroom. So it all has to do with waste matter. That's what's causing most of our problems. Most of our diseases are coming when the lymph system backs back up into our body. Now I've done several videos explaining this in more detail. Look down below in the description box. Healing Secrets Revealed, and medicine is the ultimate tool of control. This is why we still have so many problems, my friends. We're not correcting the fall of mankind. We're in denial about what to eat. It's not complicated. There's only two things you got to consider. What wants us to eat it? What are we designed to eat? Can't argue with this. You can't. It boggles my mind that people are going to want to. Even people who are nutritionists. How can you say the stupid things you do? My God. We are clearly a plant eater. And it's clear the fruits want us to eat it. Oh my God, I ate fruit and my triglyceride levels rose, my cholesterol levels rose. Well, yeah, you're cleansing. But just because it's in your blood doesn't mean crap. A lot of stuff is in the process of getting rid of things. McCullough's a good example of an idiot who went to the, I'm sorry calling you an idiot, but damn it all to hell, you're pushing animal products and you're slamming fruit. That's why I call you an idiot. Anybody who slams the salvation for our species is an idiot. At least a useful one, whether they know it or not. According to Lennon, useful idiot, they help the agenda of the people who want to control us. And how do they control us? By eating the wrong food, by keeping us sick. That's the key. Everything on this planet of any significance has everything to do with our health. That's why everything related to health is controlled by the small group of people who don't want us to know how to eat the right way, so then we can be easily controlled. There's a reason why we're so easily controlled. We're out of control. When we started cooking our food, we lost one of our senses. It's that simple. It's called a biophoton. I've talked about this 1,000 times. Won't find a whole lot of literature in America. Go to Wikipedia, that's a joke. They don't want you to know anything about solving problems. So never go to Wikipedia if you want to look for any type of health problem or anything really related about how the world works so we can figure out what's going on. Those things like Wikipedia are owned and controlled by a small group of people to make sure we don't have the knowledge we need. And that's the big problem. We don't know what to eat. Our experts don't know what to eat. Our experts have been misdirected. We're misdirected. So there's a very simple solution. We should be getting excited about this message. But remember what Margaret Mead said, it's easier to change a man's religion than it is their diet. That's why I said in other videos they were making 5 main mistakes, and there's 3 ways to correct them, 2 of which not enough of us are willing to do. One of them, okay, let's eat a raw vegan diet. That's not going to work. We're not going to get to the tipping point doing that. I'm not discouraging it. If you can do it, great, yippee. But that's not going to get a mass of people doing something. It's a solid food vacation that's going to wake up this planet. There are tons of people out there who are eating meat and they have no idea or any inclination of giving it up. You'll never get them to eat nothing but fruits and vegetables. As long as they're eating, they're going to want to eat the bad stuff. You got to get them to take a vacation from the wrong food. A solid food vacation. I've done this over 1,200 days in the last 25 years. I know what I'm talking about. I've coached thousands of people. Look at the comment section on my YouTube videos. Go back and look at my older videos, and you can see people at different stages doing this. This is powerful, powerful stuff. Watch Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Check out in the description box the Dr. Roba interview on day 21 of a Solid Food Vacation. Watch the Deborah Duncan show. Watch these women go through transformations I know you guys want to go through. Because when you can go through a transformation like that, I guarantee you, you're in for a treat.